This week in East Brunswick, the Arts Commission and Friends and Neighbors Council sponsored an afternoon of Irish music and dance at the library. Our first feature will show a few highlights from that program. We'll also look at an exhibit which opened at the East Brunswick Museum this Sunday, featuring sculpture in wood by Edmund Spiro. Tom Field of the Lions Club will be Sharon Karmazin's guest on a new This Week feature concentrating on local organizations. In another feature, Library Children's Department Head Carol Phillips will be in the studio to speak with a pediatrician as part of a series of library programs on infant care. Mary Tenaccio of the Consumer Affairs Office will discuss what to look for when selecting a family photographer. We'll end with a brief look at this week's council agenda session. The meeting rooms at the library were packed to capacity this Sunday, as many local residents experienced A Taste of Ireland, a program presented by the Tara Association of Milltown and the Brunswick Shamrock Club. The program opened with a bagpiper, Alan Crane. One of the most popular attractions was the Peter Smith School of Irish Dancing.
Good, beautiful, very nice voice. And for the next number.
Hello, I'm John Runyon, President of the East Brunswick Museum Corporation. We're delighted to be having an exhibit here by Edmund Spiro of some of his sculpture in wood. The exhibit is entitled Statements of Emotion and Intellect in Wood, and it's quite exciting. The artist will be here for a reception on Sunday, September 13th from 1:30 to 4. And he'll also be back with us again on Sunday, March 20th, 1983 at 3 p.m., where he'll give a lecture with regard to his works. It is indeed an exciting exhibit of sculpture in wood, and we hope you'll join us here at the museum between 1:30 and 4 over the next 4 or 5 weekends. Please come join us. Now take a look at the works of Edmund Spiro.
Hi, I'm Sharon Karmazin here at the library for This Week in East Brunswick, and with me I have Tom Field from the East Brunswick Lions Club. And Tom's here to tell us today about the exciting basketball game for the benefit of the library that's coming up in just another week or so. Tom, tell us what's happening.
Number one, thank you for having me. And on March the 19th, that's a Saturday evening at 7:30, the East Brunswick Lions Club is having a benefit basketball game, and we have the exciting New York Football Giants going to play the exciting East Brunswick All-Stars.
I hear the East Brunswick All-Stars are out for blood. They've been practicing very, very hard for quite a few weeks, and they're really planning to win.
Well, yes, the All-Stars are practicing. Our player coach, John McDermott, has the fellas out 3 and 4 times preparing for the game. I don't know if we're out for blood. We're really looking to have a good time, have many, many spectators, and have everybody get an opportunity to meet the Giants, and hopefully have our All-Stars give us a very representative showing of the good athletic ability of the East Brunswick Township.
Can you tell us which of the players are going to be there?
We have been told that 12 players will be coming, and they could include the following names: Scott Brunner, Mark Haynes, Tony Jackson, Dave Jennings, Gary Jeter, Brian Kelly, Gordon King, Tom Mulledy, Beasley Reese, Gary Shirk, LT, Lawrence Taylor, and JT Turner.
Well, it looks like there's something for everybody there, and I understand the kids are going to be able to get programs so that they can get their own special autographs. Is that right?
That is correct. We will have a special benefit program that will be sold at the game. It will have a spot on there where everybody, I don't want to say only children, because I know there are many adults who enjoy the football Giants, but certainly places for autographs and pictures. We have a great halftime show, and we're looking forward to having everybody have an opportunity to meet their favorite player and have a real exciting time.
Now, I understand you have some media people coming in to help you with this too. Who have you got scheduled?
That is correct. We've been very fortunate, and we have a gentleman from CBS News, Harvey Houtman, who will be doing our play-by-play, and I hope this week to announce that we will have a great halftime show that will have one of our MCs from the WCTC radio.
It really sounds great. So tell us again the date, the time, and the place.
March the 19th, 7:30 p.m., East Brunswick High School. Come on down, have a great time, meet your players, help the Lions.
Okay, where can people get tickets?
Very good, I'm glad you asked. We have some corporate people and some retail stores that are helping us sell tickets. We have the Heritage Bank, 3 branches in East Brunswick and 1 in South River. We have at the Brunswick Square Mall, the Pandemonium and the Cheese Villa. In East Brunswick, we also have Center Luncheonette and the Lawrence Brook Deli. In Spotswood, Frank and Gale's Brookview. And in North Brunswick, we have Tollman Cleaners. I think that'll cover most of the spots, other than our favorite spot, and that is the East Brunswick Library.
Right, don't forget us. If you want to get your tickets here at the library, they're at the AV desk, $5. We have a limited supply still available, although quite a few have gone already. And I do want to mention what a terrific job the Lions Club has done for the library. Last year, the Lions Club began supporting the library specifically in the area of the Kurzweil machine, which is our special computerized optical scanner used by the blind. It transfers the printed word into spoken word so that blind people can have equal access to all library materials. And through the cooperation and the good work of the Lions Club, we have paid for a trainer, and the Lions Club hope to raise enough money at this benefit basketball game so that the trainer can continue working and training new people to use the machine, and also to support the service contract, which is quite costly to cover the maintenance and the software updates of the machine. So Tom, we can't thank the Lions enough for the cooperation that we've had. Of course, we all expect to be there cheering on the East Brunswick All-Stars. Anything else you'd like to say in conclusion?
Well, only that certainly it's our pleasure to support a project so close to home, and the Kurzweil machine and Lions are certainly synonymous. And I would say this, that get your tickets early. We've sold about 750 tickets already, which leaves us approximately 350 available, and once we're sold out, you're closed out. So get your tickets early, please.
Okay, I think it's going to be a great, fun night, so get your tickets, come down to the library. We have some here. This is Sharon Karmazin at the library with Tom Field. We'll see you at the game.
Hello, my name is Carol Phillips. I'm with the Children's Department at the library here. And as part of a new children's program, the Parent-Infant Program, we will have a series of 4 speakers. Our first speaker today is Dr. Robert Salston, a pediatrician with the Rutgers Community Health Plan, who will discuss for us today the recent controversy over the pertussis immunization. Dr. Salston, just what exactly is pertussis?
Well, pertussis is a bacterial infection which fortunately we don't see much of today. It can affect people of any age group, although it is particularly serious and severe in young infants and children. Pertussis is characterized by a whooping cough. It's known as whooping cough. It is a long breath with a miserable sounding whoop, almost like a and then a child may cough anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes at a time, short to staccato, constant coughing where a child is not able to breathe. It's spending so much time and effort coughing. The disease itself is characterized by repeated episodes of these whoops and coughs, and it can last anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks in its most severe form. There's been a lot of controversy recently about the pertussis immunization. For the past, actually it's over 20, 30 years, there's been an immunization which protects children and adults against pertussis. Recently, there have been several television shows, on the Today Show about a year ago, for instance, that have dramatized some of the adverse effects of the immunization and have scared many people away from getting their children immunized. And one of my reasons for speaking here today is to try to convince people that the immunization is safe and effective and the proper thing for them to be doing for their children. What are the side effects that people can expect from a pertussis immunization? And I might add that the pertussis immunization is given along with the diphtheria and tetanus immunization, and routinely children get it at the age of 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. They get a booster shot at 18 months. They get it at around the age of 5 years before kindergarten. And then every 10 years thereafter, they get diphtheria and tetanus immunizations, but pertussis is no longer given. The reason for that is pertussis, although it can occur at any age, is only life-threatening and a severe illness in the younger age groups. Most infants who get a pertussis immunization will have some swelling in their thigh and a little bit of tenderness at the site of the injection, and that tenderness can last for a day or 2. That seems to be a little more severe in the older infants who are able to walk, and they may refuse to walk or limp for a day or 2. Anybody who's had a tetanus shot in their arm will probably know that it's a painful thing for a day or 2, but not very serious and not very severe. Many infants will be a little cranky or tired the day or 2 after their immunization, and again, this is nothing major, and most people are not too concerned about something like that. Also, some children, although by no means a majority, but a significant minority, will have a high fever following the pertussis immunization. This is probably caused by an impurity in the vaccine itself. Now, nobody likes their children to have fever, and it certainly can be upsetting when your child has a fever, but if you know that it's probably caused by the pertussis vaccine, you can rest easier. Fever by itself never hurt anybody. I know it almost sounds like heresy to say that, but a high fever probably helps the body fight off infections. In the case of pertussis, we don't know exactly why the body develops the febrile response, but we do know that it only lasts at most a day or 2 and doesn't cause any adverse effects. That is the most common of the less severe side effects. And if those were the only side effects that the immunization had, there would be little controversy surrounding it at the present time. Unfortunately, there are some very rare side effects, which we call more adverse reactions. And those occur anywhere from 1 in 7,000 to 1 in 10,000 children who are immunized.
But I
It's-
assume this is what all the advertisement is over.
Exactly.
With the controversy
It's
on the
these adverse effects. What are they? Number one, about 1 in 7,000 or so infants will cry uncontrollably for 5 or 6 hours following the immunization. It's never pleasant when an infant cries, let alone for 6 or 7 hours at a time. And nobody knows exactly why it happens. It probably is an interaction between an impurity in the vaccine and the infant's immature nervous system. However, we do know that very few, if any, infants have any lasting long-term, adverse effects from the crying episode. We don't know what causes it. We do know that most infants recover completely, and we also know that if it happened once, we don't tempt fate, and we will not repeat a pertussis vaccine in those infants. Unfortunately, there's no way of predicting which infant will have a crying episode like that. Again, maybe 1 in 10,000 infants, or 1 in 7 to 10,000, will develop a convulsion following the administration of the pertussis vaccine. Seizures are the most scary thing that a parent can witness their children having. Fortunately or unfortunately, I should say fortunately, they are not the most dangerous thing that can happen to a child. They are extremely scary to watch, but again, are not very dangerous. Most children who have a seizure, a convulsion following the pertussis immunization recover completely. They do not develop epilepsy, which is a seizure disorder. They do not develop brain damage. They don't keep having seizures. They just recover from their one seizure rapidly and never have another. And that is the vast majority of those small numbers of infants that have a seizure following the pertussis vaccine. Again, however, if a child has that kind of reaction to the immunization, with the next immunization, the child will just get diphtheria and tetanus and will not get pertussis. The most severe adverse effect has never really been proved to be caused by the pertussis immunization itself. 1 in perhaps 100,000 infants will have inflammation and swelling of the brain, otherwise known as encephalitis. This is such a rare event that although it's related temporally to the immunization, it occurs sometime after the immunization, nobody has ever been able to prove that the immunization actually causes this. This happens rarely even in infants who don't get any immunizations, and it's tough to tell whether it's just coincidentally occurring after the immunization or whether it's cause and effect. Again, we have no way of predicting which is the 1 in 100,000 infants who will develop this severe complication of encephalitis. You might say, well, if there's even 1 in 100,000 chance of my child having encephalitis, why risk it? And
What is the incidence today of whooping cough in infants and children?
well, it's tough to say. There are certainly in this country several thousand cases a year. And this is mainly in unimmunized infants, although the immunization doesn't work 100%. But those children who do get pertussis and who are immunized have a much milder case. So even if it doesn't prevent the disease, it prevents the serious complications. Those serious complications include, if nothing else, just the inconvenience of having a child seriously ill for 6 weeks. Infants with pertussis are generally hospitalized for a week or two because they need very intensive care to get them through these coughing episodes, which occur frequently. Sometimes when they cough, they have trouble breathing because they're spending so much time coughing. This causes the oxygen level in the blood to drop, and this causes the oxygen level in the brain to drop. That itself can cause convulsions, and those kind of convulsions, which are due to hypoxia, decreased oxygen in the brain, often can cause brain damage very rapidly, unfortunately. So certainly patients who have, especially young infants who have whooping cough, can develop brain damage. There is an entity known as pertussis encephalitis, swelling of the brain caused by the pertussis bacteria and the disease. This is definitely cause and effect, and certainly more than 1 in 100,000 infants will get encephalitis from the pertussis. Most infants who have the disease won't, but we're talking about a few in every 100 might develop encephalitis, and sometimes that can cause, again, permanent brain damage. These are very serious side effects. Now, if people felt that although